Karl Rove is a Republican strategist and former senior advisor to President George W. Bush. He joins us from Chicago tonight. And Joe Trippi is a veteran Democratic strategist, worked on several presidential campaigns. He's here in Washington. Okay, gentlemen, let's look at the latest poll out. This is the NBC Wall Street Journal poll, a four-way poll. This was taken after the tape was released, the Access Hollywood tape, but before the debate. That is when this polling stopped. And it's Clinton 46, Trump 35. That is a major shift in this poll. Karl, where do you think the race stands right now?
I think this is probably pretty rich for Clinton in this poll. If you look at the Real Clear Politics average, it's just under 6 points. I think that's probably a more accurate statement of where the race is today. But it has moved to Clinton's advantage. Trump has moved up basically in the Real Clear Politics average a point or two over the last 3 or 4 weeks, but she's moved up considerably more than that and has opened up a clear lead. She was at about 2 points after the first going into the first debate, and is now about 6 points according to the latest average.
Joe, your take.
6 points is really big. I mean, that you know, forget about the 11 points that NBC's reporting. 6 points in an average at this point in the campaign is large. And people have to remember Obama won that election in 2012 with 3.9% of the vote lead over Romney. So I'm not saying it hasn't closed after the debate. I don't really think the debate last night changed much, only because I think Trump really did well in terms of stemming the tide and I think exciting his base supporters, who I think responded. I believe probably responded very well to his attack on the Clintons, but I'm not sure he reached out and started to grow his support. So yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if it stays the same and doesn't change much.
Yeah, because now is about addition, not really the base. Let me go to one more poll item in that poll. GOP candidates for Congress. Among GOP voters, what do you think Republican candidates for Congress should do on the issue of supporting the nominee? Continue to support 67%. Again, these are GOP voters. You saw the back and forth today with Paul Ryan, what he said, and Donald Trump tweeting about that. Karl, is there a concern down ballot now about how this plays?
Oh, sure, absolutely. And if Trump really does want to be president with a Republican House and a Republican Senate to back him, he ought to lose the Twitter feed on those kind of issues and instead say, I want a Republican House and a Republican Senate to help me achieve my goal on behalf of America. Otherwise, he will materially hurt their efforts and hurt his own as a result. Republicans don't need a civil war, even if it's a minor one, between now and Election Day.
Are Democrats thinking, as you look at the balance of power, Joe, in the Senate, it's closer. They look like they're poised potentially to pick up majority in the Senate, and there you see 54-46, 44 Democrats and 2 independents who caucus with the Democrats. And then in the House, it's a much wider spread. But is there hope on the Democratic side of possibly even swinging a wave election in the House of Representatives?
I think that's wishful thinking. I think there's a lot of hope that that could happen, and certainly some pieces are falling into place that might make it, you know, a vague possibility.
Hillary Clinton, by the way, campaigned for a race today they didn't think she was going to campaign with, right. and that's a close race, a House race.
Oh, no, I think, well, 2 things. One, I think the Senate is definitely in play, and I think the margin that Hillary has right now is likely to pull in a Senate majority. I think the House is a much different case. I mean, there's just so many seats that the Republicans have. Democrats will certainly believe that they're going to do better than we could have expected, but I don't think there's. I think thinking about a majority yet still isn't there. On the other hand, what Ryan did today really is going to cause problems out there, because if you withdraw your support or don't campaign with Trump, and your turnout, Republican turnout, depresses at all because of that, as the establishment pulls away from him, then and Trump supporters get angry at Ryan and the establishment Republicans, you have a civil war, the one that Karl referred to that you want to avoid right now. You can't have one of those. If that that starts to break out, people stay home or get mad. Then you've got a situation where, yes, Democrats could get the majority in both.
Let me go quickly to the electoral map and the picture that is painting right now. It's still an uphill battle for Donald Trump to get to 270. Both of you quickly pick a state that you think is very important and why. First to you, Carl. What's your state?
Pennsylvania, where
All
he
right,
went
Pennsylvania.
today.
Let me put the poll up here. The RCP average of polls: Clinton 47, Trump 39.
Yeah. Look, if this was a state where he was within a point after the Republican convention, he closed it again in late September. It's now widened out since the first debate, and this is a state he needs. Even if he takes all of the Romney states, and Ohio, and Florida, and Iowa, and Nevada, where he's been polling well, that still only gets him to 265, and he needs something that the Democrats have consistently won, and this looked like his best opportunity. He probably thinks that's why so as well. That's why I went there today.
Okay. What's your state, Joe?
North Carolina.
Okay. North Carolina, the RCP is 44 for Clinton, 42.2 for Trump.
Yeah, I think this is the place I've said before where Trump has to carry North Carolina, and I think when you look at Obama won it by a half a point in 2012. She's running far better than that. Some recent polls have her running up 6. I know the average doesn't have her that much, but I actually think that this could be the state that decides her, and the Senate seat there could go with her if she wins it.
Richard Burr is trying to hold on to his seat there. Joe and Carl, thank you as always.